last video I need to record. I've already recorded 9 videos. This is the last one on the list. Then I'm going to make a quick Target run to get out the apartment, come back and edit. So then I'll have videos up throughout the rest of the day. Well, night actually. But I'm not sure what to title this video yet, so it'll be a work in progress. But really, this is kind of a follow-up to the video I did about will Charles take Candace back. And it's the fact that Candace is like done. She's like completely done. Charles is done, but you know, the fact that Candace didn't even they're just done with each other. But it's like, what the hell is Candace thinking? Like, what is she going to do? I mean, the prostitution ring is gone. She doesn't have any money to escape town. So what are her options without her even knowing that, number one, Catherine is gunning to put her behind bars to take the fall for the prostitution ring. 2, if David gets confirmation that Candace had anything to do with the Erica situation, then, you know, she's probably going to go down too. But it seems like Veronica is definitely his main focus. But I'm willing to bet that his anger might be redirected at Candace, because in the next episode preview, I believe, you know, David is telling Jim, you know, the fact that he's going to, you know, take care of her. I'll handle it. And then Jim is like, you know, it's about time or something along those lines. But remember that in the last episode, he told Catherine not to do anything to Veronica because given the whole bullet situation with Sarah and whatnot, we need Veronica to clean this mess up. So don't do anything to her. So my just theory here is maybe Jim convinces David not to take out Veronica yet due to the fact that they need her to clear the case with the Jennifer Sallison thing. And then because of that, David finds out from Jeffrey that Candace did have something to do with Erica. So then after getting that confirmation, he redirects that anger and fury from Veronica to Candace. And that goes along with my theory possibly of Charles and David working together, which makes a lot of sense in some aspects, because when you think about it, let's just say that, okay, here's what we can do. Charles knows a lot about Candace, but remember, between Oscar and David's joint effort, they came up with a lot of stuff in regards to who Candace Young is, about her life, what her weak points are, which leads to another theory about what if Charles had something to do with Benny being stabbed. Because let's say, you know, aside from knowing who Benny was, thanks to Secret Service, I think that David and Oscar know that Benny is kind of like Candace's heart aside from her son. So hey, let's play Candace, and then knowing Candace not changing her ways at all, she ends up cutting ties with Charles, and because of that, she's literally casting herself back into the lion's den. Because the thing about it is, unbeknownst to Candace, while she was up there with Charles, you know, having fun, not worrying about anything, you know, until Benny got stabbed, a lot of her, the people she has conned and whatnot, have been concocting schemes against her. It's like, okay, you know what we're going to do, Charles? You swoop in and you rip Candace away from everything, you know, take her away from the prostitution ring, all of her allies, you know, have her just be done with them. And then that will leave them with a grudge. So when she's thrown back to them, oh, they're going to rip her to pieces, which goes back to what Candace was saying in the season finale. Was it the Veronica show, when they were at the funeral home for Quincy Jr. and she went off saying, I hope you die and I'll spit on your grave. And then Hannah was like, what you just said, you just spoke your own death into existence, because you're going to be the one in an unmarked grave with all of your enemies, all the people you've conned, the ones you've done wrong. They'll be standing over you. And it's just like, well, that's probably going to come to pass, because Candace has a hell of a lot of enemies now. Even more so because of the fact that she's wronged a lot of them, you know, from beating up Rocky to, you know, screwing over RK. RK really doesn't care, to be honest. Gia is an informant anyway, so she's ready to bust Candace. So her cutting ties with Charles makes it so Gia will be accessible. Oh, Candace will be accessible to Gia to get more information and whatnot. So, you know, once again, with Candace pretty much brushing off or writing off Broderick and Rocky, telling them to do whatever they want, I think, you know, they might actually give up Candace to Catherine Cryer and whatnot. So who knows? I mean, there's just so many things to talk about here. So you got David, you got Catherine. Then on top of that, you know, Quita is still lurking around somewhere. We don't know where. Man, the list can go on. I just feel like it's pretty clear that Candace has so many enemies at this point. There's just no telling who's going to be the one to take her down. Like, we can literally just sit here and ad lib all night. It's just crazy to think about here. But I do think it is a very legitimate theory that perhaps, you know, Charles taking Candace away from everything that she loves or knows and making enemies out of her quote unquote allies that means when she finally had enough of being, you know, the future first lady, when Charles is done with her, she tries to split town, but where the hell is she going to go? What's she going to do? I don't know. And another thing, what if in the off chance, and I mean, look, the fact that Madison could take a crowbar to the head without injury, the fact that Vinny could have his throat slit by Wyatt and still be alive from bleeding out for hours, the fact that Veronica fell off the balcony with not so much as breaking a bone. What if Malik had survived being stabbed, bleeding out, and then escaped from the burning van? What if he tries to get revenge on Candace? There are just so many things to think about here. So the question is, I think the title of the video is, what will Candace do now? Like, literally, what is she supposed to do now? I mean, the most reasonable thing is to finish law school, but after everything she's done, I don't know. And plus, they need to pin, they're trying to pin the Quincy Maxwell murder on somebody. So I'm just saying, Candace better watch out. She better watch her back. I mean, this, regardless as to whether or not Charles is just another con concocted by David, Candace might as well go back. I don't really see what her other options are. Like, if you know anything, you tell me. I swear. Like, I'm not saying it's right for her to have all of her past cleared and whatnot, especially when she's not even trying to redeem herself. But at the same time, it's like, well, I really don't know what she's going to do. Especially, remember, Jim has a bone to pick with her after, you know, taking all that money. And he's like, so you're the whore that took my $8 million and you're the bitch that's not going to get it back. So, yeah, guys, you tell me something. Will Candace and Hannah make amends somehow? Because remember, those two will be sitting together in Catherine's house, meaning that they must come to some form of agreement. But karma is definitely going to be knocking on Candace's door. You let me know what you think. I mean, do you think Candace is going to wind up going back to Hannah's house? I mean, you're probably wondering, Jeremy, what the hell? Every time, or just about every time, Candace loses all of her money or whatever con she was in blows up in her face, she goes back home. Like, you know, that one time she was staying at Jeffrey's apartment, but then when she came over because Benny asked her to, Benny made her stay like for most of the day and the night when she escaped to go to the war room because Jim had been abducted. You know, Candace was sitting on the stoop in that black hoodie. You know, she ain't had no money. Then moving forward, you know, after losing all that money from Oscar, and the bank and all foreclosing on everything, staying at a motel, you know, where Quincy Jr., Hannah, and Benny were for a little bit. I mean, she was still at the Sarandon Hotel. No, actually, I don't think she was. I don't remember. But basically, you know, she was there for a bit with her family. So at the end of the day, whenever, it's like they do say, you know, you can always go back home. Whenever Candace's plans blow up in her face, she loses everything, she goes home. Voluntarily or not, she goes home for at least a little bit before she tries to go out for another con. So can you imagine if her and Hannah are under the same roof? Interesting, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Charles and Candace will get back together? Do you think Candace will drum up some money somehow? Do you think the money will be given back to the criers? You let me know. I feel like there are so many things to put into this. And also that one scene where, you know, Mitch and Candace are at the Iron Bone bar, and Mitch says, do you really want to know what happened to Benny? And that leads me to believe that, number one, the Malones didn't do it. And number two, Candace finds out that the person that did it is in association with Charles. That's just my personal theory. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate the support on the channel. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, I am going to make a quick trip to Target. You know, I went last night, but there were a couple things I actually forgot to get. So I will try to control my spending. And when I get back, you know, I'll grab me a bite to eat. I'll edit and just, I know I said this, I did like a huge thank you at the end of my trailer breakdown for The Surgeon, but I have to say it again here. Just thank you for the patience. Thank you for the prayers. Once again, my sister is doing a bit better today. So that made my day. You know, earlier when I had an hour-long conversation with her at like 6 a.m. Yeah, the whole girl thing, got a response, and the conversation did not go well. You know, as soon as it gets to the whole, when they try to tell you how you're feeling, and then you kind of lose it there. And then it gets to, well, I thought you knew I wasn't interested. And then that was the end of that. So, yeah, that was a shot to the heart. And you're too late. I think that's the lyrics. You give love a bad name. So that's the end of that. So, folks, I am picking up the pieces to that and moving forward. And that means I'm going to be focusing on work a lot more because, well, got to make a living. And this is something I enjoy doing. So one thing, you know, I just try not to let people steal my joy. I feel like that's a, can't nobody steal my joy. I know that's a gospel song. Take me back to church. But yeah, this was a lot. 10 videos today, fully recorded. So hopefully I'll have depending on my stamina, I should be able to have them all edited. Like, I know I usually say I shouldn't post them all at once, but the fact that you all have waited so long, if I can get them all done at once, I will gladly post them at once. But for simplicity's sake, I might the first video I edit will be the first one I post. That way you get a little taste of what's to come. But just to give you a rundown, I got the episode review for A Good Man, the trailer breakdown for The Surgeon, a video about will Charles take Candace back, a video about what will Candace do now, you know, let's say if she doesn't go back to Charles, a video about did Wyatt take the bullets when he left the house, and, you know, will he give those bullets to Sarah to give to the DA? Is Veronica afraid to date? Is Veronica afraid of David based off her reaction to Veronica, I'm going to kill you? Will Madison take care of Justin? A video breaking down who Vinny Malone is because he's finally making his return next Tuesday. And of course, a video about what is the lion tattoo, breaking down the story about the episode The Lion, when Hannah talks about how she got raped and that led to Candace being born, and that man had a lion tattoo. And a lot of people have been asking me, what is the lion tattoo? Because obviously this was something that was mentioned like early. This is like the lion was, if memory serves, episode 4 of 2018. So this episode came out in like what, January, February last year. So it's understandable. So I did another video breaking down breaking down what the tattoo was, who might have it, Derek, and we go from there. But again, guys, I really do appreciate it. Even when life is falling apart, I can always count on you. Like, for real, like, I really mean that. Sometimes I forget, like, things seem impossible, but you eventually get over it. Like, I remember when this channel had a couple hundred views, a couple hundred subscribers, not thinking like it's going to take forever to get to 1,000. And then next thing you know, 1,000 turned into 5,000, 5,000 turned into 10. And, you know, God multiplied that to 50,000. And now we're almost at 62. So, my gosh, what a month. Like, you know, if I can make it through this month, and then God must have something in store for me the rest of 2019. So thank you all so much. I appreciate the support. And now it's time to make this quick target run, come back, eat, and edit. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, as well as leaving your thoughts in the comment section below so we can keep the conversation going. On the left hand side of the screen, you should see a picture of Jeffrey Harrington. You can click on him in order to subscribe, but also hit the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content. Also, you should see some videos appearing on the screen as well that I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy if you enjoyed the one you just saw. But also, be sure to follow me on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all my social media will be in the description below. And in order to help this channel hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to need your help. So make sure to share this video as well as the channel around with all of your friends on your own social media. But once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next video.